Hey, Shalom, Akim. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions, and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right, as always, we're coming out here to prophesy the downfall of America, to let the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians know that you're the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. Okay? As always, if this truth resonates with you and you accept it, you're an Israelite, because salvation that is spoken of in the Bible is pertaining only to the Israelites. Okay? And the Gentiles are Israelite foreigners, not knowing who they were as a people. Okay? Pursuant to the book of Hosea chapter 1. All right? So they're going to come back to the true nationality, their understanding out of that dead state. That dead state represents them being spiritually dead and spiritually ignorant of truth, of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that is contained in this book. All right, their history. So that's what we come out to do. We come out here to prophesy, to teach, to exhort, to admonish, to rebuke. And I'm going to go into, we're going into 2020. The scriptures say, woe unto him that desires the day of the Lord, because what is it unto you, right? But the elect are hastening the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So I want to go into that and go into how us brothers that are in this truth, that have been laboring in this truth, the elders been laboring it for decades, and we had to continue to keep that integrity, to keep that covenant, that promise that Yahweh Shai had made when he died on the cross for the elect, man. The elect aren't going to go outside of that, but we're still in the flesh, and we still have to maneuver and to face obstacles. Sometimes you can't maneuver them. Sometimes you have to go head on with them, and you have to hope that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gives you the power, the strength to endure and to continue to proceed from that obstacle. Okay. So I'm going to go into a book in the book of Revelations, and let me see. This is Revelations chapter 6, verse. I'm going to start at Revelation chapter 6, verse 7 and read down. It says, and when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. Okay, so this is what John the Revelator, right, was witnessing, meaning that John, the one that was closest to the Most High, or Yahweh Shai, he was given the insight to the future. Okay, and he saw a pale horse, which represented death, right, and hell followed him. So what is hell? A condition. So he brings plagues, he brings destruction, he brings death, he brings rape, robbery. Okay, but he is death. Okay, but that hell that follows him is chaos, man. Okay, that's what that is. And that paleness represents his lack of purity, because melanin is a pure form. Even though we know Jake can be wicked as hell too, but when you look at it, because people sometimes look at black or dark-skinned individuals as being evil, especially so-called white people. Okay, but when you know the truth, you start seeing that to be an Edomite, that is evil. Okay, and they come pale, lacking melanin. Okay, so this pale horse was lacking life. All right, it says, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast, of the earth. All right, so they're going to destroy the earth. They're going to use the earth towards their advantage to use it as a wicked device to afflict harm on people. Okay. It says, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw, and that's the condition that we're in, Salakia. That's the condition that we're in right now. That's the life that we live. But there's a strong delusion on the people's minds that actually think that they're in a good case. Okay, let me bring that out. They actually think that they're in a good condition, when really there's nothing good about this place, man. If you look around in your downtown area, you'll see people are sick, man. You know, even average people are sick. The rich are miserable, according to the scriptures. Okay? So let me go over here to the book of Thessalonians. It says 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. And that's that pale horse, man. That one that he works. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. Satan, Shaitan, is an adversary, which we know that he it's a spirit that is in the heavens with the angels, man. That is given who has been given authority to work through an individual nation. All right, being the head of the wicked, which we know as so-called white people, they're Edomites, according to the Bible. Esau, which is the primary adversary to Israel. All right, which is the wicked brother. Okay, so it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay, because he's coming as that lamb, right? That is spoken of in Revelation, but he had the voice of a dragon. Okay, that's that same individual. That's that pale horse. Okay, coming with his fake peace, his pseudoscience. All right, his false knowledge, his false philosophies, his theories. Okay, all these wicked things that are going on the earth, and he's allowing a lot of these things to be accepted or allowed. To be allowed out, to be allowed here in the earth, to be televised, to be promoted in schools, to be taught. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Right, so they had pleasure in unrighteousness, man. You know, that's what's wrong with these people out here. They think that they're in a good case, you know, not realizing that they're miserable. You know, we're all miserable. We all need we need deliverance, man. Whether these people want to accept it or not, this place is going to be so much beyond, out of this world. This imagined reality that we live is going to be far out, man. But it's going to be like in the kingdom. All right, nothing that is here in America or in anybody's life or whatever they may hold tangible can exceed what Yahweh Shai has for the elect, man. That the next kingdom is going to be like. Nobody has it on the earth. Okay? And this is the only thing that we get joy out of, man. Peace, a sense of peace, a sense of comfort. Everything else is fake, is false, man. It's a false hope. But that's the condition that we're in right now. Okay? Where nothing but violence triumphs, man. Violence, criminals, criminal activity, death, disease, plagues, you know, being subject to payments, cursed, you know, not sure if you're gonna see the next day, not sure if you're gonna live a full life, a good life. That's why in the book of Ecclesiastes, King Solomon says, therefore have I hated my life. Why would he say that? Because everything was a vexation and a vanity and vexation of spirit. We're the only ones that are coming out here sounding the trumpet, and then you got individuals that are trying to do as they did to Yahweh Shai, man, because he was coming out teaching. He was coming out speaking against certain things, man. We're the only ones that are telling our people how to be and what to accept and what to follow. And stop bucking up, stop backbiting, stop being a certain way, you know. And when I say a certain way, I'm talking about, you know, whether you want to be in the truth or not, man. You have to make a decision. This ain't no game. All your life you played a game. All your life you've been in and out of these churches, thinking that the Lord's going to accept you. He's always going to accept you. That's that white Jesus, man. There's going to come a time where Yahweh Shai, the true Savior of the Bible, is not going to allow that anymore, man. That's why his brothers have to continue to push, man. Have to continue to be in this thing, because eventually that pale horse is going to be put out, man. Death is going to be destroyed. But right now, you have these people that have made that covenant, and it's been a strong delusion upon them, and that's why they're under the spirit that they're in, man. But us brothers, we know, you know. Find where that scripture is. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. The Lord had mingled a perverse spirit. Hang on. That's not it. Let's see where it's at, brothers. But basically, I mean, they've made a covenant with death. Okay, y'all called it to yourselves. Yahweh Shai, he's not that type of power, man. He's not an unjust power. He told you what you should do to avoid punishment, what you should do to avoid death. But instead you rebelled. You rejected the law, statutes, and commandments, man. You said that you'd rather be like the heathens, man. Let me see. But like I said, it said that they had made a covenant with death. You know, meaning what? That they're following the ways of the heathens, the false, the pseudoscience, okay, the false doctrines. Can't find where it is. I think it was in Isaiah, but I know there's one here in Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, and verse 13. For the Most High made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things that they might have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful. And there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For they thought to have it their friend. They consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it. You see, and that's talking about you made a covenant and be part of death, man. And the one I was finding is believing in Isaiah chapter 28. I have a note right there next to that script. Isaiah 28. This is Isaiah 28 and 14. Wherefore hear the word of the Lord, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. Because he has said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. So you're at agreement with Esau, man. All right, you made a covenant with death. You know, these demons. Whether you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans want to talk shit about Edomites, but yet you follow their traditions, customs. You know, you're on that Stockholm syndrome. You know. When you get mad at us for condemning the devil, condemning that pale horse, you know, you're those same ones, man, that made a covenant with death. You wicked Israelites, you Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, man. You know? It says, because you have said we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. See? That's why you're proclaiming it, but the Lord allowed that to happen. That's why it said, I shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. You understand? Because that same individual that's riding upon the pale horse and hell followed him, he pushed out lies, man, deceivableness. But us brothers, we're sick and tired of being in this place, man. We want to get the hell out of this place. We want to see this place destroyed. But like I said, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. What is it unto thee? What is it unto you, man? For it is not light, but darkness. Okay, that's why we had to be ready, man. We had to be right. We had to be in order. And when I mean in order, I mean you have to put on as the hopeful elect. You know? Constantly fighting, man, in the spirit. Casting out things, getting rid of things, man, that try to hinder us, that try to hinder your spirit from proceeding to pleasing Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You know? But like I said, you can maneuver as much as you can, but sometimes you're gonna have to go head on with those obstacles, man, those things that you're faced with. You're gonna have to go through them. You know? But that's the downfall of a lot of these people, man, is because they're following with that demon, man. You know, they follow with that pale horse. Going back to Revelations chapter 6, verse 9, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? You know? I mean, you got brothers that are alive. We're alive, right? But then you have some brothers that had passed away, but they didn't receive, death by a man. Some died by whatever it may have, whatever the brother may have died of, man. But there's gonna come a time where, I mean, even right now, the blood of Abel is still crying out. So we're all doing the same thing. Even if we're still living, we're not dead. As far as like an individual man coming and stabbing us, or shooting us and putting us down, But it's all happened to us in our prior lives, somewhere, some way. Okay, because you got to remember that this was written. This was written, during thousands of years ago. And we're not men of the Lord put to death. Were they not stoned and cut asunder, like it says in Hebrews chapter 11? Were they not persecuted? Were they not made martyrs? Was Stephen? And what is it, Antipas, that was destroyed? All the men of the Lord were the apostles were killed, man. John the Revelator, I'm not sure, but I'm sure he died of old age on the island of Patmos, man. Or he may have died. He died of being put to work for hard bondage. And that's what we're crying out, man. Because whatever happens in the spirit manifests on the flesh, man. So if the angels, those men that are dead, that are alive, that are in the spirit, are crying out, that is affecting the men of the Lord on the earth, man. Because that's how messages are relayed. It goes from Yahweh to Yahushua to the angels to the men on the earth. know? But that's what it means. It says, and they cry with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And that's what we're crying out, man. That's why it says, go out, sound the trumpet. That's part of it, man. Sounding the trumpet. Lift up thy voice. You know, cry aloud, lift up that voice like a trumpet. Show thy people their transgressions. Warn them from me. Like it says in Ezekiel 33. Warn them from me. Because Yahweh Shai is coming back to destroy this pale horse, man. He's coming back to destroy Great Babylon. He's coming back to destroy the revived Roman Empire, which is known as America. He's coming back to destroy what is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. And these wicked fucking Israelites, man. I can't stand these wicked ass niggas, man. You know? The reason I can't stand them because they're full of, you can tell they're just full of wickedness. They have no care or respect for what is being done in this ministry, man. But they'll have respect for a fucking pastor that stands up on a pulpit or and being told lies, man. That doesn't follow nothing that is spoken of in the scriptures. Because he puts up a fake smile, because he reads the scriptures in a way that they like. But because we're out here in the cold, because we're out here young, you know, we're out here speaking with authority as the scriptures has told us. You know, that out of the mouth of babes, you know, because they don't know the scriptures. They don't know what they're supposed to be looking for. Sometimes you're gonna have a lot of us brothers. We came in this thing very young, man. You got brothers that are young, way younger than me when I came in. I came in when I was like, man, I've been in this thing 10 years. So when I was like almost 27, right? To me, I was still young. You got brothers younger than that. 26, I can't remember, but yeah, brothers younger than that are in this truth, man. They're 18 years old, 17 years old, 17, 18 years old, man. That is a literal babe. He's young. He's a young man. But also, you, in the spirit, when you're reborn in the spirit, you're also a babe as well. But you got a lot of these old, decrepit pastors out here in these churches, man. They got all the respect, you know. But us brothers, we reject it, you know. They reject they accept the pale horse. They accept death. They make that their refuge. It said that they made falsehood and lies their refuge. You know, that's what they love. They love lies, man. You know. That's why they're likened unto Beelzebub, man, because of the Lord of Flies, aka Lord of Lies, man. You know, that's all it is. But how long Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man? That's what we're questioning. People say you can't question the Lord. Yeah, but certain things, but we can question him now. How long? How much longer? Crying out to the Lord wants us to cry out to Him, to bring deliverance, to see the downfall of our enemy. We want to see the downfall of our enemy, man. To see all these things put out, man. All the curses lifted. Not being subject to payments anymore. You know? Not being in these bodies that are susceptible to laziness, be susceptible to you know, to the negative things, man. Because like the Lord said, watch ye and pray, for the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You know? But you got these people out here that they have this false sense of hope and strength and power, you know, that the Lord is actually dealing with. Scripture said, let favor be shown unto the wicked. That's all that is. There's a strong delusion on y'all's people's minds, man. A very strong delusion. for you to have that kind of attitude, like if I'm condemned but you're saved, you know? How can I be condemned, you know, and you're saved when you're not doing nothing? The Lord says that you shall know them by their works, by the fruit of the tree, you know? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is the strength of thy salvation, right? The stability of thy times. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, you shall know my faith by my works. How can I be condemned but you're saved? You know, the Lord is coming back to avenge the blood of his saints, man. All the mockery, all the scoffing. All right. Or you hate me, because the scriptures say to hate is also to be as a murderer, man. To bear hatred. You know? But the Lord, there's a certain way. You can't hate the elect. Scriptures say, love the good and hate the evil. Pursuant to the book of Amos. You know, I'm quoting a lot of scriptures, but your brothers know what I'm talking about, man. You know? Love the good and hate the evil. So you people are not careful on what y'all do. Esau wasn't careful. Especially in the old time, he knew. He killed his brother Abel, man. Cain. That's the same individual that we could come to know as Esau later on in the scriptures. The Edomites, man. You know? That's what us men, the men of the Lord, are doing, man. They're crying out. How long, man? You know? Find this other scripture. See if I can find it. It's basically asking the same thing, but it's in the book of Psalms. Let's see. If I can't find it, I'll bring out the one in the book of 2nd Ezra. Because I know that one's there for sure. Let's see where it is. I'm not finding the one in Psalms. We'll get this one out here. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion? You see? So that's what we're asking, man. We ask questions. How long? Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. How much more longer? Though we have the signs, he gave us the measuring stick. He gave us the things that we need to discern the times. We know we're getting closer because you know, evil's waxing worse and worse. Evil men are waxing worse and worse. Okay? That's how we know. This place is all a full-blown cesspool, man, of wickedness. But with nothing but with unclean animals, man. Read it again. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion, when cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? You know? And what is our reward supposed to be, man? To receive the promise, to be redeemed, to be delivered out of this place. You know? Like I said, made mention earlier, to see the downfall of our enemy, to see this wicked kingdom destroyed. All right, that's perverse spirit to be extinguished, to be pushed out, blotted out. Esau be blotted out. That spirit. You know, when everything is made the way it needs to be made, man. Everything is put in its proper order. You know, because everything is out of whack now. Nothing is right. Nothing. People are sick. You know? You got corruption everywhere. The doctors are corrupt. Alright? The medical field is corrupt. Alright? Surgeons, nurses, you know? The police force is corrupt. The court system is corrupt. Everything is messed up. The prison systems. You read shit every day where these people are going off, man, or killing people. Allowing them to kill themselves. Have no mercy. There's no mercy in this land. I was at work last week, and I had to speak with my boss, and he told me we're living in a dog-eat-dog world. You know? And the motherfucker, basically he was saying he's a dog, man. But guess what? That motherfucker's gonna die. You got people with that kind of attitude, man, that have no mercy for nobody.